Welcome to Sketchy Situations. I'm your host, author, game master, storyteller, and generally everything for this solo RPG channel. Thank you for coming back for another episode of Stroke of Luck, where I will be playing Ironsworn Starforged, written by Sean Tompkin. This is the second part of the session 0. In this episode, I will be crafting my character that will be played. I also have a blog, strokeofluck-sketchy.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter to find out when I update, or on my blog. You'll find links to all the things that I've mentioned so far in the description below. For those not familiar with the Ironsworn series, it is a human-centric universe, so there aren't any mechanics for playing anything other than a human, which makes it easy because you can just focus on the background and the abilities that your character has, other than choosing what's the best race for my character. I'm human and I can do cool things. That used to be a bother for me because I like playing non-human characters, but I actually enjoy restricting some of my imagination so I don't get caught up in these little details that won't make that big of a difference in the overall scheme. I'm concentrated on a good story. That being said, humans aren't cookie cutter in any way. We have different cultures, races, ethnicities, backgrounds, and I'll try to represent that as respectfully as possible. Now that all that disclaimer is out the way, we can jump finally to the character creation part, or at least the preparing for the character creation part. The step 1 is to ready asset cards. Asset cards are your vehicles, they're your modules that go into your vehicles, they're your paths, which are a synopsis of your abilities, they're your companions and the things that you have marked as deeds in your life. And so this is what we're readying. These are the things that will make the character I will be playing. Kinda like the truth section, I've pre-done a lot of this, but there is a section that I kind of want to mull over out loud because it's not so easy to think of these things before you play the game and realize what you really want to be. Within the text, it labels out about 20 different backgrounds, technically job titles, and what assets pair together to make these job titles. I didn't quite use that, but I wanted to make something specific. That specific led me choosing the first 2 assets, Scoundrel and Kinetic. As if the name doesn't make it obvious enough, a scoundrel is good at lying and bluffing and cheating, and their deception can sometimes make unexpected opportunities. I am a shameless career rogue. I will make a rogue no matter what game I'm playing. You will find me make someone rogue-like. But let's not get lost in my bad habit. We have Kinetic, the next asset, where you wield kinetic powers. By focusing, you may remotely push, pull, lift, or constrict objects and beings that are about your size or smaller. I like rogues, I like magic. You can imagine what kind of character I played when I was a D&Der. Step 3 is create your backstory. I rolled a couple of times, and maybe if I'm forced with a little bit of pressure, I'll come up with something. We'll figure this out together. And we have a 23 on the table rolls. You are running from a criminal past. Well, check that out. Isn't that rather easy? I'm a scoundrel. I don't have to work hard for that one. This does make me stop and wonder though, does this character, do they con out of habit or out of desire? That's actually something worth thinking about, and I would rather wait until playing the game to find out, is this a life they chose or one they were born into or raised into? I'm gonna leave that on the table to find out later. So on top of not being able to figure out my backstory, we have the background Vowel. And that's really hard because when we look at our history, we're trying to get from our criminal past. Are we seeking redemption? Are we seeking revenge? The background vow is one that your character swore months ago or years ago. This is a lifelong goal that they intend to achieve. Something happened, and that's why it's worth looking at. I'm going to some other tables that will help me expand on what this vow has to do. I really feel like it has a lot to do with the running from the criminal past, but let's just roll out of curiosity. The first thing that I'm rolling is action from actions and theme. I have a 60, and that leaves us persevere. And let's go to a theme. 23, defense, persevere, defense. They're defending their name. I'm going to push this a tad bit further and use descriptor and focus table just to find out. I have a 41 foreboding. I have 25 foreboding dimension. A vault? They had him steal something from a vault? Artifact? Okay. You know what? Let me step away a second. They feel like they're cursed. They have a vault, and things have been strange ever since. This was a job that they were greedy. They could have just not done it, but they decided to do it anyway. It's been oddball central ever since, and they feel like they're cursed. So the background vow is I swear to lift the curse of the vault. We're like this deep, and I still haven't gotten to step 5, which is where we're going to go to now. We're going to board our starship. Now this scenario is a little weird for me. I don't really want to spoil anything yet, but we're going to do it anyway because it's part of making the character for now. I'm going to start by rolling on the table to learn the history of their starship. I've got a 64, and thus inherited from a relative or mentor. What does this big baby look like? We're going to roll twice on Envision the starship. First time I have an 84. Someone marked the hull with graffiti during instant layover. Alright, I can see that coming. Let's go into the next one. What do we have? 91. Things tend to go missing for no logical. See, that kind of stuff right there. That makes you feel cursed. Where did it go? I'm the only one in this ship. Where did it go? I'm going to name my ship, and just like everything else, I'm going to roll on the table. And I have a 62 poltergeist. Oh my goodness. Considering some information later on that I've already set up, this is awesome. Yes, I love this already. Step 6, let's move into step 6. Choose your final asset. That's a no-brainer. I've already decided it. It's Seer. I have this whole thing going on in my head, and Seer fits very well with it. Step 7, set your stats. Alright, I'm using the lodestar stats that have a 4-3-3-2-2. A lot of people do it. We like to play out our power fantasies. I'm no different. So, edge for me is a 2. Heart is a 2. Iron is a 3. Shadows a 4. And wits is a 3. And I had a fight with my habits of playing sneaky, clever, sleight of hand rogue that could pick your pockets. I decided to step away, and this one is a little bit more apt to sucker punch you. So I am moving away from a norm. There you go. I broke some habits. Set your condition meters. This is setting your health, spirit, and supply tracks 5. It can be very easygoing depending upon the person that is playing. Many of us can be harsh to our characters when things go wrong in a battle, other normally physically dangerous situation. I try to take the advice that there are so many more ways to hurt a person than to hurt their body. We all know one of those sayings, there are things worse than death. Oftentimes, it's just living, a piece of morbidity for you to take home with you. Step 9. Envision your character, how they look, how they act, and what they wear. This is, again, narrative focusing. We're out of the way of all of the mechanics. Now we're just doing the final lines of who we have here. Now, the look of this character. I'm going to give you the final look, not the starting look. The final look of this character is about 5'2", I think that's 157 oddish centimeters. Their hair is curly, tapered, cut so the sides are sheared off. There's this mohawk moving forward that's silvery white, earring in both ears, and a single gold tooth, one of the canine incisor. I'm not sure which one you call it, the pointy one, on their left side. I wanted it there just for the extraness that it is. For how they act, they're really self-motivated. In short, they can be considered a bit self-centered, and they believe that everyone else is as self-centered as they are. Now, when it comes to the attire, I won't say that I was necessarily original when it came to that, because I am not great at thinking of original clothing. I'm not the most fashionable person. I would say think of a futuristic version of the standard rogue attire. So that means we've got a long, dark jacket. It buttons up in the front. It has a hood to it that can go further over their face. It doesn't go as much as it should because the character has this mohawk that falls over their face slightly, so at least over their forehead. They have a fitted vest underneath, won't say it's dark. It matches at least the same tone as the jacket and a regular shirt underneath. We also have fitted a belt underneath all of that keeps about 2 different pouches. One of them is an oracle box that has a deck within it. The other one is a pouch that has a single metal ball in it. We just experienced a brilliant piece of fashion, and we're going to move on to step 10. Name your character. I rolled this one as well prior to recording, and the name I have is Aaron Slater. The call sign I had, and this is why I jumped for joy when it came to the name of the ship, is Ghost. This was something I had pre-set out, and I loved that the name is Ghost now, as well as Poltergeist. Spoiler alert, I was going to explode the ship, and now with the name being Poltergeist, I am not going to do that. That would be a disservice to what this story could be. Then again, I might just let the dice decide what happens to the poltergeist. I had a lot of things pre-planned out, but that's kind of counterintuitive to the concept of playing a game like Starforged. So step 11 is gear up, and this is giving your character some more specific, detailed equipment. It's recommended that you don't really go past 4 or 5 things, but there's also some default assumed equipment that your character has. A spacer kit comes with a sealed environmental suit, flashlights/headlamps, toolkit, a medkit, and a personal communicator. For personal items though, Aaron, or Ghost now that we know their name, they have a black iron index finger ring. I love finger rings. I wanted to throw some inscriptions on it. We have the metal ball and the pouch that we were talking about. This they use in their kinetics to double as both something up close they can use and something at a distance they can use. And looking at the fact that you can pull, push, and constrict with enough power, they can also change a bit of the shape of that ball. We also have a data pad for general scanning, notes, and vid streaming. It's not going to do anything robust like a specialized kit. Typical things that you have on your phone before you start downloading a bunch of applications. And for the vid streaming, I gave Aaron this quirk about loving to watch vids in whatever the area they are. Just stuff to kind of pass the time, because traveling through space can be lonely. I figured to give the world some entertainment outside of the drudgery, just trying to survive day by day. Not everything's a pirate. Not everything is a corporate society. Some people are just trying to replicate normalcy. We're going to move on to summarizing everything that I've gone over so far so we have a clear picture, as well as you can check the blog after this video and get a complete idea of what I just said in a concise, summarized manner. We have Aaron Slater, call sign Ghost, cunning, deceptive, with a heavy fist and a sharp mind, disloyal, he has no finesse, no grace, a scoundrel through and through. He'll use the force of his kinetics, and most recently, he acquired the ability of foresight. Ghosts now run past into an uncertain future, shrouded in a haze by a curse, drifting through the endless void of the forged starship the Poltergeist, in search of an answer to this curse, or die trying. There you have it, everybody. Aaron Slater has been made. Just check out the blog. You'll be able to find my truths there on strokeofluck-sketchy.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter. I thank you so very much for making it through this episode with me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode where we'll be going over the sector creation for Stroke of Luck.